Welcome to Pioneer's Path. We are here for yet another episode. We are so excited to dive into today's episode with questions from our viewers and questions from people that we know. And we have those questions pulled up. We're excited. There's no introduction needed. Pastor Aaron,
Anna Jean.
welcome to Pioneer's Path. Here we are in the studio, the official studio for the second time. Woohoo. We're excited about being able to do the podcast and excited about the questions that have come up. So I know some of them are a little challenging and I'm excited to tackle them. What about you?
Yeah. Excited.
You have so many words today. It's
too.
awesome. You're very, very quiet today.
Yeah.
Let's think of a story to get you out of your shell.
That's on you, buddy. Think of something.
Yeah, let's think about what happened this week. What did we do this week?
I don't know. What did we do this week?
We traveled a lot.
We did travel a lot.
We went to and from the Eastern Shore
Twice.
Once for Jonathan's speech and occupational therapy.
Mm-hmm.
The other for baby Nona's birthday.
No.
Baby Nona, which is our little nephew. So we wanted to travel, though the travel is long and though the Bay Bridge traffic is insane sometimes.
Yeah, Johnny's become a passenger princess junior.
Explain yourself.
Well, usually I drive and Aaron sits in the passenger seat and drinks his bevy and falls asleep. And this time he had to drive because Johnny wanted, Mommy, sit. Mommy, hold hand. And so I had to sit in the back and
I do
hold
add
his
that
hand.
I drove very well today. Yesterday, whatever day that was, Cheesy Pete's. I drove very well Saturday.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I think it went well. Don't you? I mean, I think it went pretty well.
No disasters.
No accidents. No speeding tickets.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
It's
that's
interesting.
a plus.
Got to get used to it.
You just like to be in control when you're driving.
I just like to drive. I like to get there fast.
Fast is an understatement. We're going Mach speeds in that car, in that van, I'm telling you.
That van gets it.
Yeah, you put the pedal to the metal and you just book it. Surprised we haven't gotten stopped on 32. 32, man. I was driving 32 to go to the bridge. And let me tell you, it's easy to go fast on that road.
He looked down and he was like, I'm going almost 80. I'm like, yeah.
No, it was almost 85.
Oh, well, I mean.
That's fast for me. I'm like, I don't like to go that fast. I like to stay the speed limit, stay the course, unless there's danger at hand.
What's the danger?
Well, when we were doing the hospital whole thing, that was.
Oh, well, yeah.
But unless there's danger, I like to kind of be a law-abiding citizen on the roads. So
Yeah, it just takes us a little bit longer to get there. It's okay.
it takes us the normal time that it should take one.
Except for we have to stop before the Bay Bridge so that we can switch.
We don't have to talk about that.
He refuses to drive the Bay Bridge.
I don't like to drive the Bay Bridge.
So we have
That's
to
just
stop in
what it boils down
Annapolis
to.
every time so that we can switch.
Is it irrational? Maybe.
Yes. Yes.
Do I feel panicky when I get up to the very top and I look over and I see all the boats? Every time.
Ask him what happens when he does drive it.
I start going like this on the steering wheel and I'm like,
That ain't all.
Okay, we're just gonna move on. Questions. We have answers to your questions. Be quiet. Be quiet. Not funny.
It's very funny. Look at him getting nervous.
I'm not nervous. You're nervous.
You're going to drive the Bay Bridge next time.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Anyways, here we are, ladies and gents,
Here we are.
males and females, answering your questions. This is kind of new territory for us. We've not done a question and answer, but we like to incorporate these every so often because I know people are going to have questions, and I'm going to create a Google form to submit your questions anonymously, so that way it's not, so and so said this. If you don't want your name to be, known by us about what your question is. So going from the top down, we got quite a few questions actually. Some are theological, while some are more practical. Others are more spiritual. So it's a good mix. It's a very good mix. So do you want to read the first question for us?
Okay. It says, how would you explain the idea of color?
That's a very deep and complex question.
I probably should have studied before this podcast and figured out some of these answers.
Well, it's very interesting. Well, let's just talk about our opinions. I mean,
Okay.
We all know that you're always right all the time.
Are we going to go through the whole gold dress versus blue dress? Do you remember that?
I remember back in 2012.
You remember the year?
It's locked in there, man.
Jeez.
2012 was a pivotal year.
Was it?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
pivotal.
In what way?
That was like the booming of the internet.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was 2 years out of high school at that point, so
Yeah.
I was working.
2 years out of high school. Are you kidding me?
I graduated in
Let's
2010.
Okay. You're older
You're a
than me.
baby.
We know. We get it.
I just remember working in 2012. I don't remember anything crazy. What? I don't I was working. I don't remember anything special happening in 2012.
Yeah. Well, I remember a lot of things.
Okay.
So.
Back to color.
Okay. Back to color. Color is everywhere in the Bible. Color can be used symbolically for things. We know in the tabernacle there were many different colors that were significant for meaning. As well with the priests, I know that they wore 12 stones on their breastplate. The 12 stones were different jewels, which had different colors to them as well. Each thing meaning something different. Obviously, they all represented the 12 tribes of Israel, but typically the colors had meaning to it as well. So like for the red stone, I know that it was associated with the blood of Jesus. Eventually, like it's the blood sacrifice. For the topaz and yellow stone, it represents fear, suppressing fear and peace of mind. For the green stone, it often represents healing. Sapphire blue often represents health, courage, and the divine nature of God. So God uses color all throughout the Bible to represent things. I know in the book of John, I love the book of John. It's one of my favorite Gospels in all of the four. It's one of my favorites. I could do a whole entire series going book by book in the book of John. But I know that color and imagery and that is very to the forefront as well. Specifically during Jesus' crucifixion, talks about his royal garments that were placed on him, which we know it was after he was whipped, after he was, torn open. The garments turned that red color, but the way that John described it, it was described almost as if it was a high kingly garment. You know what I'm saying? So they use it in a sense of imagery and in a sense of meaning and purpose. Like every color has purpose. Every color has meaning. I know some people today even has synesthesia, right? That's where words trigger colors. People can see sound. Makes sense? Like they can see sound through like waves of color. I know the rainbow with the promise of God, that's as a symbol of God's promise to never flood the earth again. So I think God uses colors to be able to, speak to mankind. I know that human beings, this is not in any type of notes, but it's just stuff that I know in my infinite brain of useless knowledge. But like, I believe it's like, fact check me, but I think we can only process like a very low amount of color. Like, I think it's only like a couple hundred colors that we can process visually. But there are like billions and billions and billions of different shades that are actually around us. That like they're all around us and but we can only process a certain amount. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like I know with televisions, you know, with each degree of quality. Let's talk about quality for a second. I know that a 720p television won't be able to touch a 4K television. Why is that? More pixels, more density, more color, more array. That's why we're all going to 4K, and the next TV that's going to come out, they already have them in the works. They're expensive, but they're 8K.
And I assume you plan on getting one of those.
Not until they go down in price. They're going to start at like $10,000.
Oh, heck no.
Yeah. But basically with color, you know, they're trying to produce real color in that television. Because I think there's healing in color, right? Like every color has a significant thing to it. Just like essential oils, like everything in essential oils is significant. Every plant that the Lord has made has specific properties to it.
On the subject of healing, I was watching this TikTok the other day about how hospitals used to have spaces where patients would go lay in the sun because sun is so healing.
Right.
And now everybody's under fluorescent lights, and there used to be like all these different ways that you used sun to heal. And now all of that has been taken away.
Right. I know that there's a guy online. I forget his name, but he's a really rich dude. I forget his name, but he is spending millions and millions of dollars of his own money to try and make himself young again.
Oh, I think I remember you telling me about that.
I forget his name though.
Yeah, I don't remember.
So like he has hired scientists to research,
Interesting.
you know, certain pills to take, certain.
And it's working, isn't it?
Oh, it's working. Like his metabolic age is significantly less than his physical age. But I said that to say that he has a specific room, and in this room, he has what is called a red light, infrared light. And this red light, when he does red light treatments, I think he also does different color lights as well, but there's red. I think there's an amber, but anyways, it actually penetrates your skin and promotes healing.
There was something that I had looked into at one point, and I think it was going to be really expensive, and I think that's why I didn't do it. But I have rosacea, and I have eczema and some skin issues, and they were telling me that had I went and done that, that might have helped
the red
some
light
of my
therapy.
issues. Yeah.
And I know for certain as well, like when we go,
And insurances don't cover all that stuff.
no,
They don't cover
but when
that.
we go to the gym,
Yeah.
which is very few and far between, we'd like to start going more. We go to Crunch Fitness. We've went twice
Yeah.
since we got the membership.
We're too busy.
We're very busy. But that's beside the point. The point is they have now what is infrared UV beds, which help produce endorphins and help produce, like during those winter months when there's like things that are blocking the UV rays and the infrared that's produced naturally from the sun, you know, light comes through. And believe it or not, all color is a pigment of light. You know, if it wasn't for light, we wouldn't see true color. If you look at a prism is like a crystal that refracts light. And I'm going like completely nerdy talk right now, right? It's like so nerdy, but it's a crystal that refracts light.
Y'all just know if you ask questions, he will probably be able to talk for like an hour on each question.
And I know this is not a good example, but if those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, go look up Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon album.
Yep.
They have a prism on their album. And so basically it's a refraction of light. Like I said, go back to TVs. TVs are a refraction of light. So you're able to see the color. Without light, you're not able to see color. Basically, without Jesus, the colors are meaningless. And so for me, about the color, I think colors are so significant, especially if they're written in the Bible. Like if you see something um, in the Old Testament about color, how to build a temple with Moses, with the tabernacle, he had to have like, I think it was like blue, um, shades of blue that were woven together, all of which are significant. So if you see colors in the Bible, definitely go and research it. Go on Bible Hub, go on Olive Tree, do your research because it's probably going to tell you something. The person that asked this, I believe it was Miss Lauren. She asked this, and she does flagging. She does the flags.
She made our flags.
She actually made the flags that we use here at Mount Calvary. Shout out if you are looking for flags. I'm not meaning to put you out there, but hit her up. I'm sure she would love to make them free at a really decent cost. But the different colors of the flags have different meanings. Like I know that the orange that we picked represents the Lion of Judah. The blue that we picked represents, what was it, healing, I think? Or like the River of God. I think it was the River of God. White. And then we did white for like the purity and holiness of God. And so whenever you wave those flags, like you're waving that banner of the Lord. We're waving the tribe of Judah, right? We're lifting up praises. We're lifting up, the river of God. We're lifting up God's holiness. Like, so when you see that, when you see purple, you're going to see royalty. When you see like different colors, it's just, color is just an expression. It's just another expression of God's character, I think. That makes sense. It's just another expression of God's character. God is infinite, and God wants us to be able to experience him in different ways and in different measures. Again, which is why he created plants and created fruits and created trees and created color and created just everything that we see, because it's all an expression of his character. Make sense? Did I cover that?
I think so.
Well enough.
It's been covered.
You think? Okay.
I think you could probably go many directions.
I could definitely go for another 15 or 20 minutes about this topic. I'm very knowledgeable about this kind of stuff. Enough about me.
No.
What do you think?
I'm reading the questions you're answering.
No, I want you to answer a little bit too. The people want to know.
Nope, you're good. You covered it.
What does the first lady think?
Okay.
that title makes you feel so uncomfortable, doesn't it? Sometimes
it really does.
Sometimes, honestly, when I get called like pastor, like lead pastor, like it makes me feel slightly
titles
uncomfortable.
Make me feel a little weird.
I don't like titles, though. It is what I am.
Yeah.
Though it's technically what you are as well.
Yeah.
Like it does make me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I don't want to get egotistical and let it get to my head too. No. So I have a caution there.
Yeah.
What do you think about color, though?
I don't have a whole lot to say on the subject.
You haven't done your research?
No, I have not. I did not prepare correctly.
Okay.
I'm going to read the questions and you're going to answer them.
And then you chime in.
I will chime in if I need to.
If you when I'll just say, hey, chime in here. This is just new to us. Hope you guys are enjoying this so far. Next question.
Okay. How do you deal with anger when it comes with grief? Because the saying, heaven needed them more. I struggle daily with losing my mama to cancer because my baby still needed her.
That's a hard one.
It is.
I think the saying heaven needed them more is not an accurate saying.
I don't think it's just anything that needs to be said.
Sometimes there are things that are better left unsaid.
Yeah. Sometimes
in the moment of grief, the best thing you can do to somebody is say, I don't understand what you're going through, but I'm here for you.
Sometimes things don't need to be said.
I think things said during funerals have done more damage to people than the actual death itself.
Yeah.
Because it makes you feel like, oh, well, God needed them more than they needed them down here. No, that's not true. Like there is a specific point in time where people's lives have been, the fullness of their life has been lived and their time has come to an end. But also we do live in a fallen world, we live in a state of humanity where we are under the weight of the pressure around us, if that makes sense. Like our bodies are used to being in God's presence, right? Like that's what we were designed and that's what we were created for. He's our life source. He's everything to us. And being on the earth, though God's presence is here, it's not the fullness of his presence. It will be one day. It will be. I strongly believe that Revelation 17, the kingdoms of this world will become the kingdom of our God and of his Christ, and he shall reign forever. Like, I believe that 110%. Like, that is my theology. Like, that's what I believe. I believe that when Jesus comes back, you know, it's gonna be not what, how do I word this? When Jesus comes back, he's gonna right all of the wrongs. He's going to redeem everything that was lost.
Yeah.
He's going to bring his kingdom and his power and his glory with him, and the fullness of heaven will come. That makes sense. But in the meantime, we're in this kind of limbo state where our bodies are yearning for more of his presence, more of his glory. But there's also the weight of sin around us and the weight of corruption and chaos. Though as Christians, it's our job to help bring peace to the chaos, peace to the storm. Sometimes life happens, and though it's not God's will for her to have died, might not have been his will, I can assure you he did not need her in heaven more than he needed her on earth. I can assure you that.
I mean, thankfully, neither you or I have had to deal with losing a parent to death.
Yeah.
You haven't even lost a grandparent yet.
No.
I've
Thank
lost
God.
3. I have 1 living grandparent.
I've lost all of my great grandparents.
Yeah.
And I was actually really close to 2 of them. My granny and my pappy. They were great people. They lived well into their 90s. Believe it or not, this year is the 6-year anniversary of their death.
Okay.
They died 6 years ago, 2019, right before COVID. And it does feel surreal because, you know, my brother and I used to go hunting with my pappy and my grandfather, and, you know, my great-grandmother went first. I think she had some sort of something internally. I don't know exactly what. But I think he died of just a broken heart because she passed away. It was close to my mom's birthday. No, it was close to her birthday. Her birthday was literally June 1st, so it was close to her birthday. But then he passed away on my parents' anniversary, October 14th. Yeah. And I mean, it was devastating because, you know, we knew that they were in their 90s, they were getting older, but we loved them. They made such a lasting impact on our family. And I remember, you know, as a kid, all of us and all of, you know, Aunt Carla, which is my grandfather's sister, all of her kids and their kids came. You know, we would all have Thanksgiving at their house, and it would just be a bunch of people there. But that's love. Like that's the epitome of love, and that's the epitome of family. And I miss those moments, you know. And sometimes grief happens. Actually, all the time, grief happens when, you know, you lose somebody like that. That's so impactful to you.
I don't think you truly ever
Get over it
or forget about it.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think you're supposed to get over it.
No.
I think you're supposed to see. Here's the privilege that we have. Figure out how to word this. Grief can be turned into love. And we now have the privilege of loving them longer than what we knew them. That makes sense. And so don't let your grief turn into anger because immature people have said that heaven needed her more.
Yeah.
Turn her into a legacy. Don't be angry at God. Don't be angry at the situation. It's hard, very hard, very tough, very, I can't imagine, losing a mother, losing my mom or losing a grandparent or, but cherish the memories. Makes sense? Cherish those memories. And talk about it with your kids,
I show Johnny pictures of my grandparents.
And he didn't even know them.
Nope.
And
he never got to meet them, but he does know who they are.
So it is now your job to help craft that legacy. Does that make sense? Help craft that that memory. And I know that my great-grandfather and my great-grandmother created such a legacy. And I mean, I still think about them often. I do. And it's easy to let your grief turn into anger. It's harder to do the work to heal it, but it is so worthwhile in the long run because, you're going to show your kids pictures of their grandmother. And there may be tears there may be sorrow there may be grief there, but don't look at it as, oh, heaven gained another angel. No. The Bible talks about a cloud of witnesses looking down, and I really believe that, those who are with the Lord are seeing what you're doing. They're seeing your family. They're seeing the good things that you're doing. They're cheering you on, and when you make the right decisions, they're praying for you. I really believe that. That talks about that in Hebrews. And so that's kind of gone but not forgotten. And if you think about it, like the dimensions of heaven and earth right now, they're completely separated, right? But God wants to bring them back in unity. So don't look at her as being so far off. Like Jesus is not far off. He's right there with you. And so when you look at it as like heaven is not some far away place in a distant galaxy far, far away. Heaven, the kingdom of heaven's coming near, Jesus said. Like the kingdom of heaven's coming near. And soon when Jesus comes back, you're going to see her again. And she's cheering you on and she's praying for you. So I don't know if I answered that question well or not, but kind of that's just what I believe. I mean, that's the stages of grief as well. The first stage is anger. A lot of people sit in that anger for the rest of their life. Don't let yourself become that either, give it to the Lord. Give it to the Lord and let him bring healing to what needs to be healed too. So, cool.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah. Next question.
All right. When did you both know individually that God had called you into full-time ministry?
Oof.
Mom coming in with the hard ones.
Thanks, Gigi.
Thanks, Mom.
When did I know?
When did you know?
Why don't you start this one off?
Oh, man. I needed time to think.
Do you want me to go?
It's okay. Mine will probably be shorter than yours, so.
Okay. You're like, I was 17. There you go.
Well, I mean, I feel like the majority of my life, I felt like I was going to be in ministry in some degree. And then as I got older, there were things spoken over me as a teenager, as a young adult. And then when I left church and I was away for 6 years, because I always just had this feeling that I would be a pastor's wife. I just kind of knew that I would marry a pastor. And when I met my ex and I left church, I kind of wasn't just trying to convince everybody else. I was trying to convince myself that all the things that had been said were just, maybe it was true, but it's not now, Yeah, I thought I was gonna marry a pastor, and I was gonna be a pastor's wife, but that's not gonna happen now. But when God speaks something, it never leaves you, and you're never fully convinced of the opposite of what He said. It's always in the back of your mind. It's always kind of lingering there. So I kind of always knew. I just never knew who. And then 2022 happened.
2022.
2022.
Elaborate on that.
Well, I left my ex and I went and I lived with my parents for a little bit. And during that time, God was really doing a lot. And some things were spoken over me again, and it all kind of came back to some of the things that were said before, which is more confirmation, honestly. It was just kind of confirming everything that had been said before, that God never changed His mind.
Right.
That God spoke those things over me as a child and a teenager, and that just because I left didn't mean any of that had changed. It was all still the same. It looks different now. It took longer, but He never changed His mind.
Was that part of His plan all along?
I don't know.
Or did we just make stupid decisions?
I don't know that we'll ever really know the full scope of God's plan, but
I mean, those of us who don't know, we've known each other for 20 some years.
Yeah.
22 years now.
yeah,
Like 2000
I was 10.
Yeah. So you're 32, so 12 years.
Yeah, I'll be 33 this
No.
year.
I'm sorry, 22 years. 22 years. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I said 12, that's right. That's wild. No, 20
Yeah,
22
long time.
years. Wow.
So God spoke all those things, and I didn't know how it was going to come to pass. I didn't know how it was going to happen. And then in September of 2022,
Labor Day weekend.
My family and I came up here. We stayed in Hedgesville at an Airbnb, and we came up and visited you guys. And that's when Aaron was going through his divorce and all of that, which we didn't know at the time, honestly. When we came up, we found out like right before we came up. But
before that, though, before you found out, you had been feeling in your spirit.
yeah, so we're gonna get into all of
We're
it.
getting into all of it, dude.
Okay. So
You're welcome.
He's trying to get me to talk. Okay. So I was living with my parents, and over the summer, I kept getting this nagging feeling that we needed to go
'Cause
up.
that had been what,
to
a couple
Clear
years,
Spring.
a couple years since because of the COVID and stuff.
I had came up with my ex twice in our relationship, so twice in 6 years I came up, but Mom and Dad came up more.
Yeah.
I think the last
your
time was
parents visited was 2020.
Yeah, and we and my ex and I came up that time, but it was
Correct
very
us in the
brief.
comments, Gigi. Correct
Yeah,
us in the
let
comments.
us know what year it was. But we came up briefly. We came up after service and stayed for like a half hour, and then I had to leave.
Yeah.
But yeah, so moved back home. God's doing all this stuff, and things are being spoken over me, and just it was a very like everything felt sped up. I think everything was very fast. Everything was very like
Very fast.
I was going through all of this healing and trauma and all this stuff, but at the same time, things kind of were moving quickly. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Oh yeah. Those of you who do not remember or were not with us in this journey, like it was fast.
It was crazy.
It was very fast.
So here's the real story. If you want me to tell the whole thing, the real story, the real deal.
I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know.
Okay.
Are you talking about like the whole like?
So
Go ahead, whatever.
I can summarize
We
it.
can cut
I
if
think.
need to be
Yeah.
cut.
Okay. So all summer that I'm living with my parents, I keep getting this nagging feeling like we need to go to Clear Spring. Like we
Let's
need
go
to
see
go
the
up there.
pals.
Like we need to go up there. And I couldn't shake it. And so one day I was like, have you all talked about going up to see the pals lately? And Mom's like, no, not really. We haven't talked about it yet. And I was like, well, I really think we need to go. And she's like, you do? And she was like, okay, I mean, I can send a message or whatever. And like some time went by, and I think pretty sure I like asked her again, and she was like you're really on this. And I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like we're supposed to go up there. I don't know why. I just feel like we're supposed to go up there. So Mom sends a message, and we find out that you are going through a divorce. and all that. And we didn't know any details or nothing, but
Rough time.
we made plans to come up, and it ended up being Labor Day weekend. And we stayed at an Airbnb in Hedgesville, and we came up for Sunday service. Mom and I sang, and then we all had lunch. And
Are you talking the full like gallbladder attack too?
I can.
Oh, buddy.
So we come up for church, and afterwards we have lunch, and
you're gluten free.
yeah, for those that don't know, I'm gluten free. There's not a lot of things I can eat. I think we had subs that day.
We had subs that day.
So like it was meat and onions and cheese
and
that I
this
could eat.
chick literally put away a full onion.
And I ate a lot of
She
onions.
ate a whole onion.
I love onion. I eat raw onion all the
It
time.
was like off of Shrek when he was eating an onion like an apple.
But I used like a fork and I dipped it in ketchup, whatever.
But you ate a raw
Okay,
onion.
yeah, I ate a raw onion. But
Raw onion.
I was dealing with gallbladder issues. And I didn't really know the full extent. I was going to the doctors. I was trying to figure out why I was having stomach problems, this and that, whatever. They were trying to figure it out. Well, the onions spurred on the answer. Because that night I had a gallbladder attack in the Airbnb. We're leaving early the next morning to go home. And I end up in the ER in the middle of the night, puking, horrible like gallbladder cramps and stuff. I mean, it was awful. It was terrible. I go to the ER and they give me a shot in my leg for the pain, and they do like a CAT scan and stuff, and they send me home, which was to the Airbnb, and we get back and it starts again, but worse. So Dad takes me back to the ER. They give me another shot and more medicine, and they're like, you need to see a doctor. Like, they didn't really have a whole lot of answers for me. And we went to, is it Berkeley Springs? Is that?
Yeah.
That's the hospital there. So it was a whole thing that night. And so I slept like the whole way home the next day when we left.
I texted you too,
And
I
so
think.
on the way home,
texting
Aaron
you.
texts me and asks how I'm doing. Now, I ignored him for a good probably 5 hours before I answered. And then I text him back and I said, I'm fine. I had this gallbladder attack. I have to see a doctor, whatever. So Aaron proceeds to continue messaging me, just every day messaging me a little bit here and there. And I continue to ignore him. Or
Straight
send
up.
back like one word answers or little, whatever. I mean, we talked a little bit, but nothing like significant.
I was persistent.
He was very persistent. And then a month later was my birthday, and he sent me flowers. Oh, did I miss something?
Did you miss something? No, because I think we went on a date in between there.
No. Yes, we did. October 1st.
Yeah, we went to
We did.
Arundel Mills.
So, yes. So we talked.
No, and then we did two, because we went on the one with you and me, and then we went on the one with your mom and
That was later in
your
October after
grandmother
my
and
birthday.
Jean was
But
there.
that was after my birthday.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
You talking about your birthday party when we got together?
Okay, pause. You are jumping. You are jumping.
Because I'm trying to figure this
Yeah,
thing
you're
out.
jumping. So we talk. I ignore him. He keeps texting me. So we talk. It's minuscule. It's little conversations. I didn't give too much, just little conversations. And so he wants to go on a date, and so I agree. And we go to the
Arundel
Annapolis
Mills.
Mall. No, the Annapolis Mall.
Annapolis.
The Annapolis Mall, and we didn't have any plans. We just met up and we're gonna hang out. So we went to the food court and got some grilled nuggets from Chick-fil-A.
What was I wearing?
A cardigan.
I was into my like.
Now, y'all don't know me very well because I'm very like, I was planning on marrying like a farmer or a cowboy or like that was what I was into. And so he shows up in a cardigan and I'm like, this isn't
This
happening.
really long, thick beard.
And long beard. I was like, no, this isn't
Slick
happening.
back hair. I don't have hair anymore. Okay, you see what she's done to me. No.
We all make our own choices, buddy.
Okay, no, I'm just kidding. It's not my fault. My hairline receded all the way to that. No.
Yeah, that goes from your father, okay?
Yeah.
That's that line. That ain't my fault. Jonathan's probably gonna have it too.
I had my dad's genes. It is what it is.
But yeah, so we go to the mall.
Yes.
I'm trying to make a long story short.
It's such a long
So we go to the mall and we hang out. Now I had stipulations on.
Her stipulations were wild.
They were wild, but I had stipulations. I told him I wasn't going to meet up with him unless you abided by my
She said,
stipulations.
"Don't touch me. Don't breathe in my general direction." Pretty much is what she said. She said, "You can look at me every 5 minutes."
That's not. Okay, you're being so dramatic. I just said don't touch me. I didn't want to be touched. Like, don't try to hug me.
Now
Don't try to
now
come
I
in for a
understand
kiss.
why.
Like, just don't touch me.
Well, I wasn't gonna.
We can hang out. We can,
land
but
one
don't
on-
think you coming up, hold my hand, and like this is gonna be a thing.
So I kept my hands in the pockets of my
He
cardigan the whole
did.
time.
He did. He had a cardigan on and it had pockets, and he
We
kept
did
his
bump
hands.
shoulders one time, and I apologized for that.
But how long did we stay talking?
We talked for a very
Hours.
long time. I remember standing
Hours.
outside of the California kitchen.
Yeah, for hours.
For
We
hours.
walked around the mall, and then we stood outside, and then we went to Home Goods.
We did go to Home
Okay,
Goods.
so it
and I
was
bought
hours.
a really fluffy blanket that I don't know what happened to during the move.
It's in the guest room.
Is it really? Oh man, I love my fluffy blanket.
It's just in the guest room.
It's this like really cool bear looking chic of like
It's
a furry.
interesting.
It's very manly. And
It's
I'm
not
just,
something I would use.
Next podcast, I'm gonna have to bring it up and
Do
show
it.
you guys because it's very
Do it.
manly. It's one of the most manly things I think I've ever bought in my life, except for my guns.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Okay.
Makes me
So-
feel like a king. But anyways,
A king. Oh my gosh.
royalty.
Okay. So we get through the date, and I'm on my way home. And immediately, as soon as I leave the parking lot, he texts me, and I was like, "Oh man."
I should have waited.
And what did you say?
I had a really fun time. I think we should do this again.
And I ignored him.
And she ignored me for like a week.
No, I texted you back that day.
No, because you called Pat.
I called Patty as soon as I left. As soon as I got out of the parking lot, I was on the phone with Patty. Okay. And we were talking. And then I answered your text message when I got home. Do you remember what I said?
No. You're not looking for anything serious at the moment.
Yes, we could be friends. And I wasn't looking for anything serious and I wasn't interested in that, but we could be friends.
That was in October.
And you were persistent. So on 10 days later, so that was October 1st, 10 days later on my birthday, you sent me these big things of flowers.
Thanks, Mom.
Whole other story.
My mom's like,
And-
hey, we'll get you these flowers to send her. I'm like, okay, but I was looking at these really small ones because these are the ones that I can afford. They're like, oh, we'll chip in. You know, they're like, my dad literally said, we're investing into your future.
Yeah. So I get these flowers at
And
work.
they're ginormous.
huge.
They're huge.
And I get them at work. They deliver at work, deliver the flowers to me at work. And of course, I worked at a daycare center. And so everybody sees these flowers and everybody's like, ooh, who's that from? And I'm like, nope. Nope. And Patty's like, oh, they're so big and they're so pretty. Yeah,
But what did they have in them? What did they have in them?
What did they have, Aaron?
They had your favorite flower, sunflowers.
Yes. It was a bunch of different flowers and it had sunflowers in it. They were pretty.
They were gorgeous.
They were pretty. And that's what I kept telling everybody. They're very pretty.
They were
Well,
also
who are they
very
from?
expensive.
Well,
Again, thank you for the investment into our ministry, Mom and Dad.
so I kept everybody kept wanting to know. And I'm like, no. And Patty's like, well, are you going to date him? Are you going to? I'm like, But they're such nice flowers. No. Nope. I'm pretty sure trying to remember if I stopped texting you for a couple days after that.
I think you did.
I think I did. My bad. So I do think I did ignore you for a couple days.
And then your mom
I
texts
apologize.
me about going to
Yes. Medieval times.
times.
So at the end of October, it was like the 28th or something. I don't know why I remember
Some
this.
weeks have passed.
28th, something like that.
2 weeks have passed at this point. She's still kind of texting me
Ish.
ish.
And so we decided to go to Medieval Times.
Yes.
And it's my parents and my grandparents. Well, yeah.
Mama, Manna, and Jean.
Yeah. And that was it. And us.
Yes.
Yeah. It was just us 6. 2, 4, 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was so funny because her grandparents' name is Anna and Jean, and her name's Anna Jean.
And it was not because of them. I was not named after Anna and Jean. I
It
was
was
named
so
after
funny.
Anna.
And the server was like, Angela, John, Anna Jean, Anna Jean.
Yep. And it was all A's because it's Angela, Aaron, Anna. Like,
Yeah.
it was one after another. And so the server
John and
had
Jean.
the server had a field day with
That
us
was, it was a blast.
and our names. He kept making jokes and stuff. It was funny. But we go to Medieval Times, so we meet at the Arundel Mills Mall.
Yeah.
And we go and we get our tickets, and then we have to do the.
And I was
picture.
I was wearing these really tight jeans.
We gotta talk about your clothes again.
Yeah, because you didn't like my clothes
It was a pink sweatshirt and jogger jeans. That's what it was.
with my white Air Force
With white.
ones.
Yep. I can pull up the picture. I remember. But here's the thing,
It was
though.
cool.
Here's the thing is that it wasn't what I was used to. It wasn't
was
the
very
style.
street.
It wasn't like
Well, at the time I was working at South Hagerstown High School in the ISS room. So like
Yeah.
my style was very kind of like built around that, you know?
I'm sorry, but the kids asked if you were gay all the time.
Okay,
so.
we're going to cut that part out. Why you gotta go say
because of the
that?
cardigans. That's
It was,
why
it was the cardigan. I know, it was the cardigan.
Okay. So anyway, back to the story. So we get the picture.
Those kids were mean to me, okay?
They're mean to everybody.
God bless anybody who's in ISS because that was a hard job.
So we get the picture, and then we go and watch the show, and then we walk around and shop. We went to Old Navy.
Yeah, and then you talked about your broad shoulders.
Yes, because I was trying to buy a flannel, and I have very broad shoulders, and clothes don't fit me well.
Your mom was doing what she does now and like saying, "Oh, Anna Jean, this would be so cute on you."
And I'm not a
you're just
clothes
like,
shopper.
She's not a clothes shopper. She's like, I don't like
hate
to try
shopping.
clothes on. I don't like to. I like what I like.
I hate shopping.
If you see her throughout the week, she'll wear the same outfit pretty much.
It's not the same outfit. It's
the
yoga
same
pants
style of
and
outfit.
sweatshirts.
She's very consistent. She's very
I
consistent.
have a lot of the same clothes. I like to be comfortable. It is what it is.
So yeah.
So we're shopping. I don't like shopping. So that was short-lived. And then we parted ways. And then
2 weeks later.
my mom planned a birthday party for me because I was turning 30. And it was just going to be a little get-together at the house. And it was just family, a couple friends.
And what'd I get you?
So, you jumped so far
I
ahead.
love it. I love it.
So I invited Aaron to come down. And I invited him in the way of like, hey, I'm having a party. If you want to come, you can. Up to you. And then as we were talking about it, I asked him if he wanted to do a song that Sunday.
And you needed help with purchasing a MacBook.
And I wanted to get a MacBook and I needed his help. So I was like, if you're coming to the party, we can do a song at church. And by the way, I want your opinion on a laptop, so we could go shopping too if you want. And he was all about it. He was all about it.
I took that as flirting.
He did.
I took that as flirting, like her flirting with me. I was like, I'm in.
Did. Now, mind you, I wasn't flirting.
See, I did not know.
Nor was I interested in a relationship. Still, at that point, I still was kind of like
to this day, I did not know
testing
that.
the waters.
To right now in this moment, I did not know that.
Yeah. Still at that point, wasn't interested. I was like, we've known each other forever. I consider him a friend. Like, we're just
chilling.
We're chilling. We're hanging out, testing the waters, but not like invested. So then he comes down that Saturday. Look at his face. He's like, So he comes down that Saturday and we meet at the church at Lakeview, practice the song, and then we go shopping. We go to Dover and we go shopping for a computer. And we
got Chick-fil-A.
Find one. Yep. We found one. We got Chick-fil-A. We go back to the house and we watch a movie.
You set it up.
Yep, he helped me set it up.
We watched
a movie.
Medea.
We did watch Medea.
We watched Medea.
And we just kind of hung out. The next morning, I wake up and something felt different. And if you don't know, you don't know. Like, I can't explain it. It just, something felt different. And so we get ready for church and like we took a couple pictures at the house or whatever. And something, it felt different. And we go to church and we sing the song. And it was like, all of a sudden, Aaron Powell wasn't Aaron Powell anymore. It just all of a sudden it was different. Like, wait a minute.
And by that time, I'd gotten a haircut and shaved.
Oh, he did. He came down that weekend. But it wasn't the haircut or the beard. He did come down that weekend with his beard cut and head cut and whatever.
And
like,
I threw away the cardigan and switched it up for a leather jacket.
He did. He wore leather. But it wasn't what you wore, though. It just, like, something was different. And after the fact, after the day or whatever, like, I realized that, like, when I woke up, God changed everything that I thought I knew. Like, what I thought I saw, what I thought I knew was no longer. I woke up and I saw you differently and I thought differently, and it's like God just changed everything. There wasn't anybody convincing me of it. There wasn't anybody like working their magic trying to set us up. You didn't do anything specific that changed my mind. Like, God changed my mind about you.
Thank you, Jesus.
And I will forever tell anyone that. Like, what we've had somebody recently come and ask about, like, how'd you get together, or how did he convince you? And I'm like, he didn't. Like, it was God.
Thing.
It was 100%
I mean,
God.
I was pushing hard too, buddy.
He was, and typically, like, that would turn me off. Like, I'd be like, nope, you're too hard, too fast, like, no way. And that's how I felt until that moment. And that Sunday, everything changed. And it was funny because people at Lakeview were like, she's going to marry him. And I didn't know they were saying this. That day, they were saying that about us, and I had no clue they were saying it. And dang if they weren't right. Like, I didn't know it. I didn't realize it at the time. But then after church, we had the party. And then after the party, you were going to leave, and you asked, you essentially asked me to be your girlfriend. And I agreed.
Score.
Had he asked me that the day before, I would have said, heck no.
It's so funny.
But it's like when God does it, he does it.
He does
like, it just, everything was changed. Everything was different. And again, it wasn't anything that anybody did. It wasn't anything that I did, you did, anybody else. It was
a God
God.
thing.
And so I will always say to anybody that asks me, how'd y'all get together? It was God. Like, who would have thought that the 6 and 10-year-old would end up meeting up again years later and getting married? Now, mind you, this party was like November 6th or something. It was like the first weekend of November.
Oh, buddy.
We were engaged at the end of November, and we were married December 30th of that year.
It was fast.
So, trying to make long story short, like,
girlfriend
engaged, married in 2.5 months.
Like, that was not because our intentions were to get married in April, and then we felt the Lord speeding things up for some reason. We don't know why. We now know why, because,
we know why.
Right after that,
we know.
Literally right after that, we get pregnant with Jonathan. Like,
we did.
The night of our wedding night.
Yeah.
The night of our wedding, we got pregnant with Jonathan.
I firmly believe that with everything, God had a plan in all of it, because had we not gotten married and gotten pregnant when we did, I think things would have turned out a lot differently. There were a lot of things that happened that could have caused a lot of turmoil.
Yeah.
I mean, has caused turmoil, but like not in our marriage. There's things that have happened that like things might not have gone the way it was supposed to. And God really just was like, okay, get married. Okay, here's your baby. Yeah. Like, these things have to happen in order for things to continue the way that I need them to continue. Yeah. Like, you were supposed to be together. You were supposed to do ministry together. This is what I need to happen now.
It was very clear cut. Like, that was probably
it was clear cut.
The most clearest thing that I've ever heard or done in my life. Like,
that it's not like me to get married that fast or to even get engaged. Like, that was not my plan.
And
at all.
Not trying to spill your beans or anything, but like you had went 6 years and you hadn't gotten pregnant by the other guy.
So I was with my ex for 6 years, and I was away from the Lord, so we lived together. And there were a couple times that we tried to get pregnant, and when I say tried to, like, it was minuscule, like, oh, tonight let's try to have a baby, and then we didn't. Like, it wasn't anything significant. But I lived that life for 6 years, and I was never able to get pregnant. And so when I married, or when we got engaged, I think, I told him, like, I've been with somebody for 6 years. I never got pregnant. It wasn't prevented. So I don't know.
I don't know. She didn't know if something was wrong with her.
I don't know if I can have a baby. I don't know if it's going to take us years to get pregnant. I don't know if we're going to have help. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. And that made me really nervous, getting married and not knowing. Mm-hmm. And he already had a kid, so we knew, obviously, that wasn't a problem for him. And the Powells are very fertile. There's lots of children. So, like, we knew that wasn't a problem, but I was never able to get pregnant. So we were concerned that I wouldn't be able to. And so when we got married, we made the decision, like, we're not going to try to have a baby, but if it happens, it happens, because we don't know how long this is going to take.
You were 30 at this time.
I was 30, and we didn't know how long it was going to take. We were thinking, okay, we might have to try for a couple years. And I was already 30, so that was concerning for me. And then I get pregnant on our wedding night. So it wasn't my fault. I couldn't get pregnant.
It was God. Thank you, Jesus.
And then I found out later that I had some really, really awesome, amazing ladies praying for me and praying against the things that weren't of God.
I think your mom
6 years I was away.
I think your mom literally said that one time she prayed that your womb would be closed.
Yes. And look
And so
look
it
at what God
was.
did.
And so it was.
And I am very grateful that I didn't get pregnant with my ex, because that would have been horrible. It would have been awful. I'm very grateful for the people that were praying for me and praying against things and just in my corner the whole time.
Yeah.
Because
And
look at our life now.
Like, I think the people that were praying for you, the people that were praying for me, they knew the ministry
Yes.
that lied ahead of us.
And thankfully, I had people praying for my husband. Like, they didn't know who you were. They didn't know who I was going to marry, but they got behind me and prayed for me and my spouse and my future kids and all of it. I'm so grateful for the people that were praying this whole time. So when it back to the question with, being in ministry, like, I always knew it. I always felt it. I didn't know
same.
who.
Like, I always knew that I was going to be in ministry. There's a time where I didn't want it, and resisted it. The thing for me that made it flip for me was I was sitting in a revival service at Gateway, and there was, I think Perry Stone was there, something along those lines. And I was very not interested, just not interested.
What year was this?
I want to say like 2015, 2016.
Okay.
Ish. Because it was right before I went to Valor.
Okay.
It was the winter before I signed up for Valor Christian College. No, it wasn't the winter. It was the spring. Because I was not interested in the service, and I was looking up. This is so funny. I was looking up who was nominated for the Oscars that year.
Nice.
And I was casting my votes who I thought would win the Oscars, and let alone that was the year that Leonardo DiCaprio won his first Oscar. Let's go, Leo! Right? That was for Revenant.
Okay.
That was for Revenant. I was a big movie. I still am a big.
Though. It was a good movie.
Great movie. Great
It was a
movie.
good movie. I watched it.
Big movie fan, and I still am a big movie fan. Like
He
my
is.
grandfather, when
He
I was a
is.
kid, my grandfather every weekend, I was homeschooled. He used to take us to go see a movie every weekend without fail. Like, that is a core memory.
And the man wants to keep that tradition. It's just very expensive.
I do want to keep that tradition with my kids. But anyways, so this lady comes up to me while I'm voting on who's going to win an Oscar.
Look at you go.
And she's like, I have a word of the Lord from you. So I can't take my phone. I'm just like, oh, yeah. Let me hear the word. And then she says to me, she's like, you have a double mantle anointing. You have an Elisha mantle. Whatever your father did, you will do two times greater. I remember it to this day. And it was like, it hit me like right in my chest. And I talked to my mom and dad afterwards, and they kind of chalked up okay, here's how prophetic words work. You have to have confirmation somewhere. Okay. Months go by. I go up to visit Valor Christian College up in Columbus, Ohio for pastoral leadership. That's what I went to college for. And while I was there taking the tour, it was on a Thursday. There was chapel that day, and I remember the service very vividly. It was a service where this person's brother got shot in the head, and they were all praying for him for a couple weeks, and he recovered and he lived.
Wow.
And it was just a very miraculous breakthrough. It was very, very insane. And after the chapel service, one of the professors comes up to me. It was Professor Fleming, Professor Scott Fleming. I'm still friends with him on Facebook. He was one of the real OGs there. It was him and Professor Sams. Those were my top two people that I really admired and looked up to. And then the president, Randy Turpin, he was there. All three of those men were such strong men of God. But Professor Fleming operated very much in the gift of prophecy and the gift of hearing the Holy Spirit. Once I was in his classes, he was telling us experiences that he had where the Lord had told him, hey, go left here, go right here, and he wound up at like some person's house that was getting held up in gunpoint.
Wow.
Like got a gun pulled on him. He literally heard the trigger go click, and like the guy's like, the gun's loaded, and he fired it up in the air, and it was
Oh my
it was a
gosh.
whole thing. Anyways, I was in the spot. It's called the spot. And those of you who are not familiar with Rod Parsley, there's a specific spot that he stood in that he got anointed under Lester Summerall, and there's this cafe lounge. They named it the spot after that spot. It's a whole thing. We can get into this later. I don't know if I want to get into the whole Valor stories. I have a lot of Valor stories. I might get into that when Trevor, when he comes up in December.
Yeah.
Maybe have him on the pod. But anyways, so I was taking a tour through the classes, looking at the different classes, and just so happens at the spot, we pass. Pastor Fleming and I, Professor Fleming, I call him Pastor. Professor Fleming and I pass. And I remember him saying, I was looking at you during the chapel service. I said, okay, cool. Cool. And he's got his head shaved and like a beard and stuff. So like he's a really cool looking guy. Tattoos, kind of, and so he's like, yeah, I was looking at you during service, and he said like everywhere that you moved, like I couldn't get my eye off of you. I was like, that's interesting, and then he literally says, so the Lord put something on my heart to tell you. And I said, well, what's that? And then he was like, I saw in the spirit that you have an Elisha mantle, and that everything your father did, you're going to do 2 times greater. And in that moment, I'm like, I'm going to Valor Christian College, and I'm going to serve, and I'm going to, but like that was the defining moment, I think, for me.
Confirmation.
That was my confirmation. Like, and I'm the kind of guy that needs
lots of
confirmation. I do. I need lots of confirmation.
Yeah. He will ask God like 4 or 5 times, just one more time, just one more confirmation, just one more thing, just give me a sign. And he's like, just listen.
If I have to take a sign and smack you on the back of the head with it, I will. Like,
yeah.
But that was like I said, I've always kind of known,
Yeah.
and then I went through a point where I didn't want to admit it, and then it was just very, very apparent in that moment. It was good though. Yeah.
And it's funny because the things that were spoken over me growing up, like all through the years, teenager, adult, all of it, and the things that were spoken over you are so similar.
Yeah.
They just line up so closely. It's a little wild to think about.
We kind of been in each other's radar the whole time.
Yeah. It's crazy.
But
without knowing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Long story.
Very long story.
Long story to answer that question.
And there's even more. We just gave you the rundown.
Yeah. Next question.
Okay. I find some of my questions are hard to write, much less ask in person. How do you overcome that? Some were raised that you are to be seen and not heard, and you surely weren't supposed to speak of anything that went on.
Good question. Hard question, too.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are, especially of the female descendants, right? Like the person that asks us is a woman. Church culture has really made, the quote, women be silent, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In the church. They've taken that where women can't ask questions, they can't, have opinions, they can't do any of that sort. I don't believe that's truth.
No.
That's a thing that you have to break mentally off of your mind, because think about this. Who was the first person that... Good coffee? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Who was the first person that witnessed and spoke about the resurrection of Jesus?
Yeah.
It was a woman. There was many, many women that had many great things to do in the Bible.
Yeah.
And so these are just things that I think the church has taught that were wrong. Mm-hmm. That's one of them.
Well, and it's weird too, because it's like it goes through phases, because it's like there's some where the women aren't supposed to speak, they can't be pastors, they can't this, they can't that, whatever. But then you have times like when I'm growing up, where it was the women that were the ones that were really interceding and praying and doing the teaching. It was like the men fell back and it was the women's job. And it's like, you know, how they say men are supposed to be the man of the house and the spiritual leader. And we went through a time where a lot of the men fell back in that. And the women were the ones that had to step up and be the spiritual leaders.
I think it's still kind of like that.
And it's like you have this, it's almost like this battle between the two where women aren't allowed and aren't speaking up. But then you also have the other side of it where the women are having to step up and be spiritual leaders because the men aren't.
Yeah.
You got two sides of it.
Yeah.
I grew up in where there was a lot of women who were the ones stepping up and being the spiritual leaders in their houses. They were the ones doing the teachings and preaching and all of those things. So you got both sides of it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's just a mental thing that that a lot of people that were raised back in that day have to hurdle over.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that's the way of the kingdom either, you know?
No.
So, hope that answers your question. Next question.
Okay. Do you believe the Antichrist is already on earth? And is it biblical to believe that if you are saved, you will not have to go through the tribulation? Again, I should have studied a little bit on this.
Okay.
It's been a long time.
Depending on which sect of Christianity you are in, each sect has different beliefs.
I feel like this question alone could be a podcast on its own of like what the Church of God believes versus what other people believe versus what we believe.
Yeah, there's dispensationalism, there's pre-tribulation, post-tribulation, there's millennialism, there's kingdom, there are so many different beliefs out there. I know what the Church of God believes. I know the Church of God believes that if you're saved, there's going to be a pre-trib rapture, and that those that are with him will be met in the air, that we won't have to go through the tribulation. You know, and that's where I hold to that. There are other beliefs out there that say that Christians will endure the tribulation. Others say that the tribulation has already come and went, and we are now living in the millennial reign of Jesus. That being said, to answer your question, truth is nobody knows the fullness of it.
There's probably something in the middle.
I believe that there are certain truths in all of it. Bottom of the story is Jesus is coming back. So it's best just to be ready regardless of what happens when he comes back. Do I believe that we will endure the tribulation? No. I think that we are going to live through turbulent times. Makes sense. But are we going to live through like the full tribulation? I don't believe so. No. Again, because I am in the Church of God, I hold to the Church of God doctrine and belief in that regard. You know, again, they believe pre-trib, rapture, 7 years of tribulation, and all of that stuff.
The Left Behind series.
The Left Behind series, right? So I hold to that. But again, there are different beliefs out there in regard to that. And I can, again, do a whole podcast about that.
Maybe that's a podcast we'll have in the future, just talking about that.
Yeah. Now, in regard to the Antichrist, there's a book out there called Reading Revelation Responsibly. Really good book. Highly recommend it. Because it goes to show the balance. It teaches you how to balance the book of Revelation in your brain.
Because it's a hard one.
It's a lot of allegorical things, a lot of things that the Christian church took as literal that were prophetic or symbolic. Like, do you actually believe that there's going to be a beast coming up and out of the sea? You know? Yeah. that's all prophetic.
There's a lot of
imagery.
things in there that like our minds can't wrap around. You
Right.
just don't
And
understand it.
John's mind when writing it, I don't think he could wrap it around, to that degree as well. And so like, just like every other prophecy or prophetic book, like look in the book of Daniel, when Daniel prophesied, when Nebuchadnezzar saw the statue and there was different tiers to the statue. One was bronze, one was gold, one was stone, one was, and at the bottom was this mixture. And then the comet came and hit this thing, and David and Daniel interpreted it as like these are the different kingdoms that are going to rise and overcome through the earth. But there's one kingdom that will not stand under the power of the mighty God Almighty. So that's a symbolic imagery that King Nebuchadnezzar saw. So I think a lot of what is being said in Revelation, I think it's symbolic imagery, but I do think that there are truth to it.
Yeah.
Right? Like the things, the scorpion, the half man, half scorpion things that are going to come and torture mankind. Do I think that there's going to be literal bugs that come around and sting people? I don't know.
Which, side note, when Aaron and I were dating for all of like 5 weeks, we decided to do a Bible study together on FaceTime. And we did Revelation. That's a really hard one to start out dating with.
It's my favorite.
Study.
Okay, honestly.
It's a hard one.
Anything that John wrote is my favorite. I love the book of John. I love 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John, and I love Revelation.
Like, you really see like how far out some people's like theology gets when you do that book.
And when you go verse upon verse, chapter upon chapter, and then you read it in the context of which it is written.
Yeah.
Like a lot really comes out, and it's like, oh, so that actually links
never
to
thought
this.
about it.
And then like there's actually some things in there that links to the birth of Jesus and how Jesus overcomes, and it's just this whole. It's honestly, people are scared of the book of Revelation, but it's a beautiful.
I've done studies
tapestry
on Revelation myself. I've sat in them at Lakeview when they've done studies and classes on it, and it's like, and then when we read it together, it's like you just keep learning more, and sometimes it gets confusing, and then sometimes it's like, holy crap, that now makes sense.
Yeah,
it's like I probably should just go through it again, do another deep study on it because it's so good.
So to answer your question about the Antichrist, I think that in every generation there are Antichrists that rise up that all have the potential to be the Antichrist. However, it's not God's appointed time for it. If you look all throughout history, we see a lot of figures that rise up that fit the mold but never become. It was the same way with the Messiah. Jesus is, back in that day, like there were many people that rose up that fit that image, but it wasn't until Jesus came that the Messiah actually came. Like there's a lot of people that fit the anti-Messiah, the Antichrist mold. And where am I getting this from? 1 John 2 says, verse 18 says, children, in its last hours, it is the last hour, and you have heard that the Antichrist is coming, and so many Antichrists have come. Therefore, we know that it is the last hour. So that right there is saying that there is an Antichrist, a big one coming, but there are also other little Antichrists, excuse me, I got the hiccups right now, that have come. So do I think there are Antichrists here and now? Yes. Do I think the Antichrist has arisen yet? I don't know. I have no idea. All we can do is look at the signs, look at the times, look at biblically what the Bible says. And again, if you go back 30 years ago, there were antichrists back there, and there were signs of the times back then. If you go back 200 years ago, same thing. But it's just not God's appointed time yet. Do I think it's coming? Yeah, absolutely. I think it's coming. I think we're every day that we wake up, we're closer now than we were before. But again, the Antichrist, is he here now? I don't know. I think that the government, ooh, this is not going to be good. I'm going to say it anyways. I think the government knows the Bible better than most Christians do.
Yeah.
And I think that they try to push the agenda faster.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that God puts a stop to it because it's not the appointed time.
Yeah.
Oof.
Again, this could be a whole podcast.
Do I dare say this too?
Do it.
Okay, Lord, I listen. I hear you. I was watching our president overseas with Putin. And literally on the backdrop of it, it says, bringing peace. Something like that. There's just like peace plastered all along it. And we know that one of the signs of the Antichrist is bringing peace to the Middle East. Again, do I think it's God's appointed time yet? I don't think so. I don't know. I'm not God. But I think the government knows what the Bible says. I think that they're trying to bring about the end times because they want to win. There are so many podcasts that I've been listening to right now about these specific things, about these dark governmental structures and these dark things. A couple that you can listen to. It's called The Confessionals with Tony.
It's so good.
It's really, really good.
Really long. Prepare yourself, but really good.
There's another one called The Blurred. I forget what it's called, Blurred something, but they talk about this stuff too. They talk about everything you can think of. How now the government's coming out with documented alien sightings, you know?
Well, and a lot of it talks about how there's a whole lot more spiritual things going on than what you realize. Like,
Right.
Everything's very surface, but it gets deep. It gets real deep, and you don't realize it.
Right. And like the same practices that were happening back in the Bible days
Still happening.
of like sacrifices unto gods and serving gods.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the prophets, like let's take, for example, literally the prophets of Baal. When Elijah confronted the prophets of Baal, they were literally cutting themselves and killing people, sacrificing them to Baal. And Elijah comes and he's like, haha, Baal's probably on the toilet taking a dump. That's literally what he says.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably relieving himself. And he calls down fire from heaven. Truth is, you know, these governments, these structures
Still there.
are still in place. Just because we live in a modern world does not necessarily mean that these structures aren't in place.
Mm-hmm.
Does that scare us? Shouldn't.
Well, and I mean, we're in America, so like we don't see some of the things.
Oh my goodness. I've had friends from Valor, actually, that lived on Indian reserves. Like these are Native American reserves. This is on the soils of America.
Yeah.
I think she was either Apache or Tahoe or something along those lines. And she remembered as a kid seeing these shamans, these Native American shamans, transform into wolves. And
It's crazy.
there was a wolf that was caught on her property, on her reserve, and literally on the trail cams, 1 minute it was a wolf, the next minute it transformed into a man. Like
Jeez.
this is insane, right?
Yeah.
Like, but like this is the stuff that Christians don't want to talk about because it labels you as weird. It labels you as
Crazy.
right? But like the truth is, this stuff was happening back in the Bible days. This stuff was happening back in the days of Noah. If we look back in the days of Noah, we know in the Bible it talks about Genesis 6 about the fallen angels coming down and mating with human beings, creating these half human, half, they're known as the Nephilim. There are these giants, which is an inbred of half, spiritual being, half human being. And so, like, if that stuff was happening back then, and in Revelation it says, as in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the days of the coming of the Son of Man. Don't you think that there's going to be stuff that's ramping up that's going to be very much resembling as in the days of Noah?
And people like to put it in a pretty package. so that you don't realize what's going on.
See, the bottom line of the story is the son of perdition is going to be revealed soon. In our lifetime, I don't know, but soon. The son of perdition is Satan in the flesh. Like, he is going to come in the flesh, and he is going to give a prophet. This is in the Bible, a prophet power to raise the dead. And this is the Antichrist, right? And then there's the prophet. It's just the whole thing, right? It's basically mocking God and then showing that they have the power, they have the authority, and they are Jesus in the flesh. Basically, is what's going to be said. And they're going to offer you the same abilities, an easy way for this, which we know that's going to be the mark of the beast, the shot. Whether it's going to be a shot, whether it's going to be, I don't know. Some people say it's a shot. Some people say it's a microchip. Either way, it's going to fundamentally change your DNA into an antichrist yourself. It gets so deep.
This is a whole podcast itself, man.
This is a whole podcast in and of itself. This is why people think, oh my gosh, this is crazy.
And this is something that we talk about and listen to often. So
because you've got to be ready, you've got to be prepared.
Yeah.
Right. And there are people on these podcasts that we've been listening to that have been in that occult world, and they've
come out of it, and now they're exposing it.
They're exposing it. They have seen these lowercase gods, Gods. They have seen them in the flesh. They've seen Satan in the flesh. They have talked to him, given him sacrifices, devoted blood to him. Like, it's real.
Yep.
And like this stuff, they said this stuff is happening now.
And it's not overseas, it's here.
It's not overseas, it's in America
here
now. And so yeah, that's just the tip. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Yeah. But like, bottom line is, we're not saying this stuff for us to be afraid of this stuff. We're saying this stuff because we're going to overcome by the blood of the Lamb, the word of his testimony, right? And so what we now have the privilege of doing is partnering with God during these last hours that we're on the earth, bringing forth his kingdom so that way every ear can hear.
Yep.
That's the bottom line. And that's what they say on the podcast too, like that we're listening to.
Yeah.
Like, we're doing this so that way every ear can hear the gospel of the kingdom. Because though they may wage through blood sacrifices, or they may wage war through, physical weapons, our weapons of our warfare are not carnal. And ultimately, we know in the end of Revelation, we know who wins. We know that Jesus is the victor, and he is going to win, and he's going to establish his kingdom, and we're going to rule and reign with him in a new heaven and a new earth. Mind blown, right? That's just the tip of the iceberg, buddy. That's just the tip of it.
It is.
Yeah, that's a big rabbit trail. But if you want to come talk to me personally, if any of you want to come talk to me personally about some of the stuff that I have heard and I kind of am leaning towards, in regard to the other side of things, like, man, I let's go have a coffee. Let's go talk, because I can talk all day about this topic because I love it. Because in the end, we win. Like, in the end, doesn't matter if Jesus comes back now or after the tribulation, or if it's another 130 years before he comes back. Ultimately, in the end, no matter whose belief system it is, Jesus wins, and that's the good news of it all. So. Does that answer that question well?
Yeah, I think so.
Hopefully I didn't get myself into trouble.
We can go a whole lot further.
I didn't say anything that's incriminating right now.
You ready for the next one?
I guess so.
All right. When was the eye-opening for you both that there has to be changes in yourself in order for the church to thrive?
Ooh.
And I think this takes us back for us together as a married couple, from the beginning of our marriage to now. It's been an ongoing process. And we've talked about this a little bit, that our move to the shore spurred a lot of things on. And it's been from then a process to now.
Yeah. And it's still a process.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing about being in ministry. There's a different calling on your life than when you're just in regular laity.
Yeah.
When you're just a regular churchgoer, there's a different call on your life.
holiness has been the biggest thing that we have focused on.
Yeah.
For sure.
And not just like
It's been like the theme of it, I guess. If we have to put a theme to it, it's
holiness
been holiness
and righteousness.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing, I think. Like, for me, I know that God's holiness and righteousness is imputed to us, which means the moment we say yes to Jesus, he gives us his holiness. He gives us his righteousness. He puts on the robe, the ring, and the sandals on our feet, right? But this does not give us the excuse to continue to live the way that we used to.
Yeah.
People before have given it a license to sin, but also people have used it as a guilt and condemnation kind of thing too. There's got to be a balance between the two.
And we went through our own processes separately and then together.
Yeah. Where we are capable of understanding that we're not perfect and we make mistakes, but we're not making the same mistakes that we used to.
Yeah.
Like we're growing, we're evolving. And like that's the thing, like now, I think we talked about it like one of the first podcasts. Now our convictions aren't, oh, let's watch we can't watch this show. Oh, we can't listen to this music. Our convictions have now progressed to, I shouldn't say things in that tone.
Yeah.
I shouldn't think.
It's went from like big things and now it's dwindled down to like the little things. Like it's chipping away now, just the little things now. Things that you don't normally think about. The big things he worked on first. Now it's the little things.
Well, it's just the process of sanctification in the believer anyways.
Yeah.
And here's the thing as well. I think that unfortunately many people have drawn a line in the sand too. That there should be a separation of holiness between the pastor and the congregation member. I don't think that's true. I think we should all be on this process and this journey together, all striving to the ultimate image of Jesus in us, Christ in us, the hope of glory for the earth. And again, though there are things that are called to us to be different because we are in ministry, I don't think it should be just us going through that process. I think that we go through the process first to bring the rest of the people through the process as well.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So like for us, like these things that God's working out in us, he's doing so that we can free the people that are under us.
I mean, I don't believe God's going to bring in people that need to be freed from the same things that we're doing.
Right.
We have to go
and
through
like
that process.
The things that we're doing to normal people aren't really bad.
Yeah.
Like it's us having an argument.
Yeah.
It's us, making snide remarks sometimes. Like, but like to us, like that is conviction. God brings conviction in those moments because
our
like,
tone with our son, or
technically, marriage is the most holy and anointed thing that one can do.
Yep.
Along with having kids. The most holy and anointed thing. And what are the two things that the enemy tries to attack? Marriages
and children.
and having kids. That's why there's rampant homosexuality and rampant people not want to get married. I mean, we were in the Walmart the other day, and the lady that was checking us out, she was an older lady. She's like, "Oh, you won't catch me getting married to nobody. I'm not going to stay tied down to nobody."
Yep. I mean, if we're being honest, like that was me when you and I started talking. I ain't getting married. I was looking at houses. I had my cat. Like I even thought about having a child on my own because I didn't want to deal with no man. Like that's where I was at. So, like I get it, but that's where the enemy fights you the most.
Yep.
It is a fight. Your marriage is something that you have to fight for daily. Because
the enemy wants to attack your marriage, and he wants to attack. And then the second thing is the abortions.
Yeah.
So many people out there getting abortions, and if you've gotten an abortion, this is not a diss towards you.
Oh no.
This is just stating this is where the enemy is attacking.
Yeah.
And then like there are many people out there that have kids and just give them away. It's like they don't want their kids, they neglect their kids. It's very hard and difficult. And so for us as Christians, we have to fight for our kids, and we have to fight for our marriage. And having a divorced spouse with a previous kid, that adds an extra struggle to it, because though my daughter is mine, she's not with me full time. You know what I'm saying? And so, but you still have to fight for her spiritually. We have
Yeah.
to, you know, and so like it just brings this whole
That's
new
another
thing
level.
in the mix. And so it's like this whole thing. And now, so the enemy comes in to steal, kill, and destroy. You know what I'm saying? And we're left to pick up the pieces if we let him. We have to take a stand for our marriage and take a stand for our kids. But yeah, I think that's the thing. It's like, that's what God's trying to do through us in the church is restore marriages, restore families, restore.
And God has spoken those things over us.
But he had to take us through it first.
Process.
He had to take us, and we're still in this process, but take us into the process of perfecting our marriage.
Yeah.
And perfecting how we fight with each other.
Yeah.
You know? And it's not really a fight with each other now, and now it's us coming together to think through the problem, right? But yeah, that's where the enemy comes into attack, and that's where we have to be solid in, you know. But yeah, so it's just back to the question. It's been a consistent eye opening for us. We have had our eyes open.
It's been a process, and I think once we moved here, the process sped up. Significantly. It went from like the 9 months on the shore, we were going through this process of removing things from our life and removing not just things, but ways of living and different things, and changing habits and changing just all kinds of things.
Changing the way that we speak, changing
all
the way
of
that we
it,
act.
just
It's
changing
a whole
everything,
thing.
changing the way that we parent, changing the way that we handle our children. Like all of that was changing. And then once we moved here, it sped up significantly.
Yes.
It has been a fast change to the point where daily we're coming to each other, like recognizing things that need to be changed. Whether that's
It's exhausting.
It is. Whether it's in each other, whether it's together as a couple, whether it's with Jonathan and how we handle him, whether it's how we take care of our house, how we like all of it. It is literally everything is now being like under a microscope. Okay, what do we need to do differently now?
Yeah.
Like we're feeling convicted. What do we do?
Yes.
It's not even like TV shows anymore. It's like
Nitty gritty down to the
little tiny things. Yeah,
it's hard.
It is.
But it's going to be worth it. I mean, I know we're already seeing the fruit of it.
We are.
Like, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
The Lord is blessing us left and right. He's rewarding us, and he wants to do the same for you too. That's just what it boils down to. He wants to do the same for you. And, but yeah, so when did we have our eyes opened to changing things in ourselves in order for the church to thrive? I think in order for the church to fully thrive, it shouldn't just be us changing things. It should be everybody in the church changing things.
Yep. And I think it's a lot of it all, I mean, and we talk about this in many different facets, not just this, but it starts from the head down.
Yeah.
What starts at the head rolls down.
Yep.
And so this is kind of the process God's taken us on so that the church can change.
And if you ever pray, Lord, create in me a clean heart,
Ooh, buddy.
and Lord, remove these things from me, he's going to do
will.
it. But it's going to be hard. I'm telling you, it's not an easy thing to ask.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, Lord, purge me with fire. You know, back in my early 20s, purge me with the fire, and the fire fall down on fire, and you know, fire.
Look at it now.
Oh man.
Okay.
He will answer.
He will.
Is that what you really want, though? Hey, you can purge him with fire. I'm good. Him, yes.
Take care of that one.
Already prayed that one. Been through. I'm good. Thank you, Lord. No more for me. Those that are new to the faith, you hear them praying those prayers, and it's like, yeah, do it for, not for me, do it for him, Lord. I've already done it, Lord. I'm good. No more fuego here. Whoa. The only fuego I want is that fuego seasoning from Taco Bell. You know, that's it. That's it. Give me some heartburn every once in a while, indigestion. It is what it is, but I don't want no more fire. Like, I'm done with the fire. Like, fire, no thank you. I've been fired. I'm good. Like, I'm good, buddy. No, for real though. But I think the church has to go through this reformation again.
Yeah.
But this also has to be cautious that we don't become legalistic during that process too.
Yeah.
So it's balance.
Yep.
Finding that balance. Wow, we are at an
Okay.
hour and 36 minutes.
We have one
and we
question
have one more
left.
question. You didn't think we'd be going this long with all
I
these
was like,
questions, did you?
we're going to talk for 30 minutes and be done.
Hour and a half later.
Okay. I went from not wanting to talk at all. Okay. Last question. What are your thoughts on how many popular preachers today, parentheses, Stephen Furtick or Elevation is one, do not believe in the Trinity and three separate people, but modality where there is only one person with different manifestations? This is going to be another 30 minutes for Aaron.
Modalism, modalism, modalism.
Here we go.
Oof. I say to limit God is a huge disservice to him. And I think that preachers like that want something that they understand.
Yeah.
And because God is other, that's literally what holy means. It means completely other, not like anything else. Because God is other, we want to wrap our finite minds around an infinite being.
Yeah.
I think that that belief system is wrong because in the Church of God, we believe in the Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit as three distinct persons operating as one. There are also other beliefs out there that say this, not just is he three in one, but he's infinite in one. That all of his characteristics is embodied in something. The God of peace, right? There are some people that believe that there is a specific embodiment of God that embodies complete peace. The God of joy, right? It talks about these different spectrums of God.
Right.
And I'm not saying that that's completely right either, but I am saying that I think there's more to God than what meets the human eye.
I think there's a whole lot we don't know.
There's a whole lot we don't know, and a whole lot that our humanistic brains cannot understand while we're confined to this flesh and bone.
Yeah.
I think that God is infinite, and to keep him tied down to one specific being is wrong, but to also limit him to three might also be wrong too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Again, I believe in the Trinity. I believe that, three in one. But I also believe that God can express himself in different ways. And God, like I was talking about at the beginning of the podcast, like he expresses himself through nature.
Mm-hmm.
He expresses himself through color. He expresses himself through anything that we could think, anything that we could see, anything. And that's just the beauty of God. And when we limit him to just some dude with a long white beard 1,000 miles away sitting on top of a throne, I think we limit seeing him in our day-to-day life. And I think that's what modalism does as well. It limits Father, Son, Holy Spirit to one person. It's kind of like the movie Avatar.
Never seen it.
Not Last Airbender, but The Blue People.
Never seen it.
I was thinking about it like this then. And there's a movie called Avatar, and there's basically they fly out to outer space to this planet full of like these indigenous aliens. And it's almost like a Neuralink where they take their DNA and they create a separate body for their alien, and they call it their avatar. And so they're able to link their brain to that avatar, and they're controlling the avatar. They can do multiple at once sometimes. So that's what modalism is trying to say. One God that's splitting, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's to understand, and to those who don't understand online, that's basically what it's saying. It's like there's one God in control that's, using avatars,
Mm.
you know, to be. That's not who God is. Three distinct into one.
Mm-hmm.
God is not the Son is not the Holy Spirit is not God. Though they are all God together, they are all individually God as well. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
There's a book by James White. I believe his name is James White. And it's called Rediscovering the Trinity. It's really, really good. If you haven't read that book, you should read it. It's really good. Or redefining something. I think it's something the Trinity. I think it's redefining or something. But it's really good. It basically explains the idea of the Trinity in a way that we can kind of understand it. But that's the thing about God. We're not supposed to understand it.
Mm-mm.
We're not supposed to understand how the Trinity operates. We're not supposed to understand how he is 3 in 1. And when you go into different teachings like modalism, which is that avatar thing, we try to limit God to our finite understanding, which in turn creates a false God,
Mm-hmm.
an idol, because that's not who God is. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So anytime we picture God as something he is not, we are in fact creating an idol in our mind. That goes into a whole other rabbit trail of idolism.
Y'all ask good questions that could end up being podcasts each of their own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. But like bottom of the story, God is infinite. He is 3 in 1. We may not understand it, but here we are. Yeah. Now, in regard to the Stephen Furtick thing, let's address that. I know people have issue with him. People have an issue with Joel Osteen and Kenneth Hagin and Kenneth Copeland. Well, that's a big one for me. But technically, I don't know. Like, I do have issue with him teaching modalism, right? Stephen Furtick and T.D. Jakes and people like that. I do have issue with that. But there are other issues that stretch beyond that with him as well.
Yes.
Makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be one of those bashy podcasts where I'm like, here's what I don't like about this preacher, and here's what I don't like about that preacher. Because I could do that.
Yeah.
I could go into hour-long conversations about each.
We watch lots of different pastors and services. And
yeah. If you want recommendations, I got them. But, yeah, for me, I just... meat and bones. Well, there's two sides of that coin then, too. Some people say meat and bones if you know somebody that's really, really loving Stephen Furtick. And I mean, I've posted some of his stuff because it's encouraging, right? You're not too happy with me about that, but it is what it is.
Hey, you post what you want. I don't care. I'm just not going to post him because I don't particularly care for him.
Yeah.
But hey, if you like him,
for me,
I ain't going to judge you.
For me, meat and bones. Take the good, get rid of the bad.
Yeah.
But on the opposite side of that, it's like, how much poison do you really want in your water?
Yeah.
Even if it's a trace.
I mean, I don't even really listen to a ton of Elevation or even Maverick City music. Like, I stay away from a lot of it. It's just, but that's my personal convictions and feelings on it. Like, we're all different.
Yeah. Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, again, I don't want to sound double-minded, but like, I will post some encouraging things like once or twice from him.
Now, listen, I'll listen to some Tiffany Hudson. I don't listen to her in Elevation, but I listen to her whatever she does. Yeah.
Her single album.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's like...
And what's that one dude? What is his name?
Joel Barnes.
Is that his name? Yeah. No. Yeah. Is that song with her?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Her, Abby Gamboa, and
Joelle.
okay, yeah, I'll listen to them.
Yeah, they're all really good.
Yes.
But yeah, poison.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to drink poison. If you know somebody that's listening to Stephen Furtick, you know, pray that they mature beyond that point. Because honestly, a lot of his stuff is just cotton candy fluff. You know? Same with my buddy Olstein, you know?
Yeah.
But
doesn't mean it's wrong either.
God uses them.
Yeah.
Right? Like, God uses them to get people in the door, and thank God for that.
Well, like, and I feel like I can be a prime example in some of that, where like when I left my ex and I was just starting to come back to church and I was just starting to try and like I had been out of it so long, I didn't even know what music to listen to. I didn't know who was popular at the time. I didn't know what preachers to listen to because I had been out for 6 years and I really didn't listen to anything. And so I just went on like Spotify and Google and was just trying to figure out. And so some of that stuff I listened to for the first probably year, but then I needed more. It needed to be deeper. Like, yeah, I listened to Stephen Furtick a little bit. Like for actually, before I ever even left my ex, I was working and I was able to have ear pods in while I was working. And I had on Pandora. This was back when I was using Pandora. And I was feeling a type of way. This was when God was starting to kind of work on me and I was needing to make some decisions. And I remember feeling a type of way and I just went on Pandora and I just typed in like some kind of Christian something. It wasn't preaching, but it wasn't. Anyway, later on, I figured out it was Stephen Furtick. That was the first thing that I ever listened to. Now, I say that I don't listen to him now, and I don't. But that was, for me, that was the beginning. Yeah. That was when things were first starting to kind of stir in me, and I was needing something. But let me tell you very quickly, I got away from it. And I wanted deeper. I wanted more. It wasn't enough.
Stephen Furtick even says himself that he's not for the deeply seasoned Christians.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he says that.
Well, he's honest then.
Yeah. And, you know, I hate to say it like this, they're a gateway drug. Get
That's
you a
funny.
taste. You know?
Get a little taste.
Get a little taste, then you go to the hard stuff. Like,
but I can relate to that. I did the same thing. Like, now that I think about it, I did the same thing. Yeah. When I first started coming back, it was Stephen Furtick. It was Maverick City. And then it just, something in me changed. And it wasn't enough.
You grew. You matured.
Yeah, it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
But everybody's in a different space.
Like for me, like in my past preaching, I started off preaching that feel good, you know, and as I grew, I matured to what I preach now, and it's very different.
I mean, we talk about all the time Damon Thompson. It's somebody that we listen to.
Love him.
All the time. Every Friday night he has a service online. We listen to it. And he is honestly so deep that sometimes I struggle to listen to him because I'm not there yet. Like vocabulary and some of that stuff, like I have to go research it to know some of what he's saying. But he didn't start there.
Storehouse Jasper is another one. Now they're not quite as theological, I don't think, as Damon Thompson, but they are just as good. And we listen to them. But sometimes it's William
like
Henn.
Different. William Henn is another one. Now I can listen to him for hours. I'll put on his stuff for hours. But it's like, you know, they didn't all start there. They had to grow. They had to get deeper and deeper to get to where they are now. So same with us, same with everybody. Like, we all start somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, Damon Thompson used to be at the Ramp.
Whoa.
Like, if you go way far back, like everybody has a starting point.
Yeah.
It's, do you stay there or do you go deeper?
Yeah. Wow.
And that's a whole nother podcast.
I think we got a lot of good ideas for a future podcast.
Yeah, I think so.
Want to take a guess at how long this one went?
Oh, hour and 45. 2?
Almost 2.
Oh my God.
Hour and 50 minutes.
That's insane.
Yeah, with just 5 or 6 questions.
Dang.
I'd like to do this again.
I like the question and answer. That spurs on conversation. I like it.
It really does. I'd like to do this again in a couple episodes. So think about
some questions.
Think about some questions and ask them. I'm going to put it on a Google form and we'll do that. Do it attached to a link down below. I'll actually do it this time.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully we answered your questions without
Yeah.
confusing you guys even more. Hopefully we helped you out in some way, shape, and form.
Yeah. I mean, come up with some questions.
Yeah.
Theological, personal, whatever.
Spiritual, theological,
like it.
or personal. We are here for any questions.
We like it.
And here's even this, like we can open it up, and if, you know, you have stories to tell us,
Yeah.
you know, we can have you on the podcast.
Heck
and-
yeah. We'd like
Yeah.
to start getting some guest speakers on here and
Yes.
doing some more stuff.
Yep. So anyways, we'd like to thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Pioneer's Path. I almost said the other podcast that I used to do with my dad, Calvary's Compass. No, because it's the same room. It kind of brings us flashbacks. But thank you for tuning in today. We're so grateful again to be able to do this and to be able to just sit here and shoot the breeze and talk about some things. And
Yeah.
hopefully we didn't confuse you guys too much, but it kind of sparked some new ideas and
Yes.
thoughts. And but anyways, we'd hope to do this again next time. If you like what you heard, just share it.
Do all the things.
Do all the things. Help us out with the algorithm. If you want to support the podcast, there will be this time an actual link in the bio up above, or if you're watching on YouTube, down below, to support our podcast for future episodes and future casts. So, but anyways, God bless you. We love you. And we'll catch you next week.